Hey everybody, it's me Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Hit a plant-based diet going for yourself today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and to get with alkalinity, then you can generate some static electricity. Send me some love telepathically, set attention to your mind and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to Great Days. So today I wanted to talk about being yourself and flowing, getting the energy flowing, opening yourself up vibrationally. Um, and this is purely of a type of letting go, right? Or just a flowing, um, which is pretty much being yourself, right? So let's get into this. so, letting the energy flow or learning to flow, learning to get in the flow, connect yourself with the flow is a vitalization, right? By this I mean it's very, very inducing of high potencies of life energy, and you want high life energies because if there's no life energy, you don't have health to your status, or your stasis. So it makes it very hard to function on an adequate level or a proper level, right? It's like having low health in a video game. It's just hard to get the missions done, right? If you're talking about missioning. Um, so learn to flow. This is as simple as just being yourself, right? So we come with a specific design, a specific geometry, right? There's a specific geometry to our body, our individual body. There's also geometry to the macrocosm, the universe. Um, but everybody has a different geometry, right? Like snowflakes, there's no two snowflakes that are geometrically identical. It's the same case with you and the other person or the other body, right? So these are different designings. Since we all have different designings that are unique, universally unique to us or the individual, then there's a unique expression as well, because that is the designing, or a unique form as well, which you can gateway. There's a gateway in that, right? An entrance or an entrancing rhythmically into the genetic level, your specific genes, and which can access or lead you to access points of the universal geometries or genomics, right? Where you can learn about the genetics of the universe. So you can most definitely come into your flow, right? This isn't hard. This is something that happens of itself because the design is already there. It's already being expressed. The energy is already flowing. It's just that you've been taught to obstruct it, or you've been taught to build various different dams, or and by dams I mean like a hydro dam, right? For water, it blocks up the flow. Um, but these also can be used, right? Because you got to understand that all is one self, all is one organism. So the universal intelligence uses everything to be able to function on a universally intelligent level, right? So blockages can be utilized for momentuming energy through various different channels and whatnot, right? Um, so it's very important to learn how to open up these channels or open up the flow of energy for yourself. And this is just being yourself, right? Don't allow yourself to get caught up in like crowdings, because crowdings they can keep you in in misidentifications. If you really want to go deeper into your core of being, you got to be alone a little bit, because it's going to allow you to know yourself on a deeper level, right? This is vital. This is a vital step in self-mastery. Sages who have self-mastered know that they have to be alone in order to do the entire work and continue sustaining the world, right? So learn to flow. This is just being yourself. This is expressing your design as it is. It's already being expressed, because there's nothing else that can be done. But you can also pick up various different conditionings and things like this, complexities, which are things like dams. You know, they're blocking up the river, but they can be used. You can learn from them. The learning is the lessening. The lessening is the lightening up, because you're lessening your composition, your content, your contentedness, right, to subtler states of being, which you can then get into deeper dimensions of existence, which is the growth. It's no specific growth, it's growth, period. By this I mean it's not spiritual growth, it's not mental growth, it's not physical growth, it's growth, simply growth, because this is where everybody is growing, or this is how everybody is going to grow into collective maturity. It's going to involve deepening the dimensional experience. So we're all going to be able to access deeper dimensions of being only when we're able to come into flow, right? Which is also just the entrance. It's the entrance, the entrancement. It's just the gateway, the flow, which you're already in the flow. Everybody is. You just have to shift the awareness to realize it, if you don't already realize it, which is the Tao, which is Wu Wei, effortless effort, actionless action, not generating karma with your action, so that you can lessen yourself, subtleize yourself, your energies, cleanse them, and come into higher planes of existence, growing from collective infancy to collective maturity, right? The people, the beings, the gods who have already done this and are teaching us on hidden levels, you got to follow them so that you can grow. Bud, right, is growth. The Buddha, follow the Buddha, the awakened one, so that you can understand exactly what it is that you got to do for yourself, right? Beyond religion, religion doesn't need to be involved. This is evolution more so than any type of religion, right? This is evolution for everybody until it becomes conscious, until you become conscious, which is the growth. So be yourself, just be yourself, right? Because there's nobody else you can be, because there's only yourself. There's only one self, the one universal organism that we are all making up. Separation is an illusion because it's conceptual, and conceptual reality doesn't actually exist. More so, it's a very minute dimension of mind that has been used within the fixation and normal states of consciousness, quote unquote. But you can break beyond that and literally recede into more universal intelligence, which is already there as well. The universal intelligence is already there. You just got to shift the awareness, which is receding into deeper dimensions of mind, so you can be receptive and tune in to the universal intelligence. But that God intelligence is already there within you. That's what Buddha is, the awakened one. He is awakened into that intelligence, the deeper intelligence, the God intelligence. Same thing with Christ, right? So that's the growth. That's what everybody is growing towards. There's no exclusives, but everybody's included within that growth because that's the collective maturing, right? But once again, all you got to do is be yourself. Just be who you are. Your design is already there. It's expressing itself. Just allow it to. So that means easing yourself up. Ease up. Disease is the type of things that cause the blockages of that flow of energy. See, so you can ease up and the energy can flow. But whenever you're in a dis-ease, there's blockage, there's a sickness, there's a dis-easefulness, right? So all you got to do is ease up, and the energy can flow. And the flow of energy is the entrance, it's the gateway, it's the opening to omniscience, which is all knowledge, or even cosmic consciousness, which is cosmic awareness. So just let things flow. It's flowing, everything's flowing. Just allow it to. Shift the awareness so that you can lessen, so that you can teach yourself lessons, so that you can lessen yourself vibrationally and come into subtler states of energy so that you can ascend. If you become lighter, if you lessen yourself, then you can ascend like a balloon, right? So you got to teach yourself the lessons, and that involves the shift of awareness. You can learn from the obstructions. There's most definitely disease. There's most definitely sickness. There's blockages to the energy body, but you can learn from them, right? Because it's universal intelligence what has organized that whole system of blockage, or what I'm calling a disease, or maybe even just obstructions, was organized by universal awareness or God. So like hydro dams, they're blocking the river, they're blocking it, but there's an intelligence using that blockage or that dam to get energy to fuel something nearby it, right? So it's the same thing on that level, which is the microcosmic level. So you can learn from it, right? If you just shift your awareness. You don't need the internet, because the internet is not really going to tell you anything. More so, the universal intelligence within yourself is going to tell you a whole lot more, right? Because the phone is not smarter than your organism. But your organism created the phone to a convenience, right? It's just a tool. So, and so does the body. The body and the mind are also just tools for higher dimensional beings to use to work on this server, on this plane, right? So the phone is kind of like the same thing. It's fractal. It's a fractal exteriorization of integration, right? So we can integrate something of a convenience and evolve utilizing synthetic materia, right? So we can align ourselves once again and ascend as a collective. But just be yourself. Everybody is doing this already. So if you do have the doubts or whatever it may be that you just can't get the energy flowing, then just understand to be easeful, ease up, because the energy is already flowing. It's always flowing. and even disease or whatever would be obstructing energy can also be utilized, right? So just keep that in mind so that there's no conflict, but you can see beyond the conflicts or the polarity of energy, and you come into a clarity, right, of mind, of being. Being is already clear. You just have to shift the awareness into state of being rather than a state of thinking. Thinking is not as sufficient as you think, right? We were taught that thinking could solve everything, right? But it doesn't solve anything actually. It's just like a phone, right? It's just kind of like a wavelength that can be utilized, but you can kind of subtleize that wavelength so that it's not so over excessive, and then you can really you can recede into a deeper state of awareness, which is more of a health, right? That's gonna be it for today's video. I do thank everybody for watching. Once again, peace out, one love, and have a great evening, or have a great afternoon. My bad.